Tony's Topics. Welcome to another edition of Tony's Topics. And what do I want to get into today? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing a game against the Pelicans, and it looks like they're getting a little manhandled by somebody on the Pelicans' front backcourt. I don't even know the guy's name. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So we're back again to talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the two teams I think that actually has a chance to take it all in the East. Now, and I'm going to write it down in two teams. Yeah, Miami's there. Miami, in the wake of losing LeBron James, has filled in the gaps and seems to be a decent basketball team. Sure, chances are, though, they'll probably won't average out being more than like maybe a Tier 3 team. They'll probably be about as good as like the Golden State Warriors or the Memphis Grizzlies, something like that. But as far as having the power to win the whole thing, so anyway it goes. The Cavaliers actually do have that potential, but we have issues, it seems. Issue number one is, and what I'm wondering about this is the use of Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. Now, for those of you who don't know, let me just tell you right now, LeBron James is a 6'8" point guard. No, he's not a forward. No, he's not a big man. Don't even call him a big man, okay? He's not a power forward. Unless you're 6'10", you are not a big man in the NBA. 6'9", if you're 6'9" playing power forward, you better be thick as a wall, okay? You better be like Zach Randolph big. Because if you're not that thick, you're not big enough to be considered a big man, all right? LeBron James is a 6'8", technically a 6'8" small forward, but if you really look at the way he plays, he's not a... When I think of a small forward is in basketball like a running back is in football. A lot of times, they might take some outside shots, but a lot of times they're going to penetrate and try and get to the basket, and they're going to catch a lot of rebounds. Whereas LeBron is more of a passer. I mean, if you look at his season averages, he averages like 7 assists per game or something like that. So, and keep in mind, last year, the top assist, the champion of assists was Chris Paul, averaging 10.7, and then Steph Curry was like up there with like 8. John Wall and Steph Curry were like up there with 8 and 9. So with LeBron averaging 7 assists per game, he is better than most point guards in the league, okay? I mean, seriously, what's Tony Parker average? Like 5 or 6? Okay, LeBron averages 7. So LeBron James is a 6'8" point guard. Yeah, I know it doesn't exist, but that's what you got when you got LeBron James, which means he's going to need a ton of ball time, which means he's going to have to work out the differences with Kyrie Irving, who wants a ton of ball time. Okay, so, and on top of that, if you look at the way LeBron James plays, he likes to stay in the backcourt. So that's how he gets all his steals. A lot of time he's intercepting passes and then getting a fast break. So the man likes to stay in the backcourt. He doesn't like to stay under the basket like a lot of, forwards, small forwards, they got to stay under the basket to constantly get the rebounds. They're the primary weapons of defense for their basketball teams. But that's not LeBron James. Will he get rebounds? Sure. Does he average more rebounds than he does assists over his season career? Sure. But the older he gets, the less he's going to want to bang down in the paint with big 7-footers. Okay? The less he wants to catch elbows and stuff like that. So it's just wisdom. The guy would prefer to assist, shoot, and, he's going to come in and get rebounds, but let's move on. So there we go. I talked about this issue earlier. The question isn't whether or not LeBron's going to do what LeBron's going to do. Yes, he's going to score big points if he gets his touches. I mean, honestly, when LeBron comes in the game, you really need to just let him hold the ball. Okay, he's your Magic Johnson. Let him control the ball. That's why, you need to have the same setup that the Spurs have. First quarter, your starting lineup should look something like Kyrie Irving, Dion Waiters, and yes, I know he's injured and stuff, but, they got Sean Marion in the backup. But it should look like Kyrie Irving, Dion Waiters, Tristan Thompson at small forward, Kevin Love, Anderson Varejao, and you're going to let Kyrie Irving control the ball, and between Kevin Love, Anderson Varejao, and Tristan Thompson, you should be getting a ton of rebounds. You should be winning the rebounding game. All right. Now, come second quarter, you're going to do just like the Spurs do and bring in Manu Ginobili. But in this case, you bring in LeBron James because that's who LeBron James plays like. He plays a lot like a Ginobili. Ginobili gets a lot of rebounds. Ginobili gets a ton of assists. An amazing director of the ball on the court. And you don't want to take away from that skill that Ginobili has. That's why Popovich is smart enough to stagger their play. Now, once they both get tired, he lets them both play. You know, they're both going to make your over 30 minutes a night. And that's the exact way the Cavaliers need to play this thing. Okay? You want Kyrie Irving controlling the ball. Honestly, you might not even want Kyrie Irving playing much past 30 minutes because from what I've heard, he's injury prone. So the last thing you want to do is wreck one of your stars in the regular season. Okay, we got a long way to go. I mean, we're just getting around 10% of the season. 8 games in, we're just getting around 10% of the season. So let's not, overdo it. Like these coaches that I'm seeing running their plays for 44 minutes, you might as well just ask for an injury. It just looks desperate, okay? 44 minutes, that means you are not using your backup players well enough. And speaking of backup players, why are the Cavaliers running Mike Miller? I mean, seriously? Okay, I'll give Mike Miller this. He plays some good defense sometimes. But as far as taking a chance and shooting the ball when he's wide open, forget about it. He's not a live man. Get him off the floor. Get him off the floor. I mean, really, are we so thin that we really got to play Mike Miller out there? And it's not to hate on Mike Miller. Make no doubt, Mike Miller is incredibly accurate with three-point shooting. If he shoots, a lot of times he won't shoot the ball. He's got great defense. He's 6'8", but he can, being 6'8" allows him to guard small forwards, but, or shooting guards. So, I mean, he's got great height, but you need live men. If Popovich hasn't taught us anything, it's that you need 5 live guys. Sure, you got to have your core stars, okay, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, but everybody else around them better be live. Everyone else around them better be able to know how to do their job so that if one of them is out, the game can still going and the team can still progress. All right, and then I'm hearing this junk about Kevin Love wanting to go to the Lakers today. Oh, my gosh. We aren't even 10% in the season. And, yeah, that could happen. Whatever. Bottom line, you guys really need to get this boy to the finals, get him a ring so he can shut that stuff up. Okay? Because I don't know why he's so determined to go play Kobe Splunky and give Kobe his 6th ring, his Jordan ring, whatever with that. Okay, Kevin Love, sit down. You guys need to work it out. The Heat had to go through this exact same thing. Bottom line, you need to stagger your ball carriers because no matter how many great players you have on the court at a time, just like in the East, West, in the All-Star game, only one guy can control the ball at a time. So you really need to stagger the play as much as possible between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. That way you always have 2 out of your 3 stars on the court. Hopefully, that's the way it's supposed to work. 2, why hasn't there a backup man for Anderson Varejao? Okay, you need to start looking for your backup center. All right, Blatch? All right, start working on that backup center because 10 and 8 is average. 10 and 8 is average. There is no way that an 8 and 10 center, 10 and 8 center, whatever he is, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 8 points, 10 rebounds, doesn't really matter. It's average, okay? And it definitely doesn't deserve $10 million, all right? There are too many college rookies who you can drop in the game who can get you 10 points and 8 rebounds. Take a look at Steve Adams over on OKC. You know what I mean? He's getting a fraction of that, but he'll get you 10 points and 8 rebounds a night. So there should be no debate when it comes time to renegotiate the contracts where our money's going. You need some centers. You need some hungry centers that want to get it done. And I'm not denying Anderson Varejao is a great, he's a good average center. But you need a backup big man. You need to make sure you're running 2 big men at all times. Pay attention to Popovich. I mean, how many years does he have to drill Tim Duncan and X into our brains? Tim Duncan, Boris Diaw. Tim Duncan, Thiago Splitter. Or when Tim Duncan's taking a break, Boris Diaw, Thiago Splitter. And now he's training Banis. Okay, that young kid, Banis, he's got a new guy in the works. So, I mean, you know, pay attention. Two big men on the court at all times. I mean, that's the only reason why the Pelicans are even a threat this year, because they finally got Anthony Davis some help in Omar Ashik, and now it's like two ogres down blocking the basket, okay? You're not getting in. Anthony Davis is blowing stuff out the water. He's leading the league in blocks and in rebounds. Golly! And now their backcourt's coming together. Wow, the Pelicans actually want to be something serious this year. Okay, so either way it goes. Stagger Kyrie, stagger LeBron, Anderson Varela, you need a backup center, you know, and really, Tristan Thompson, make sure this man gets 36 minutes a night. Stop the madness. He's too good to be sitting on the bench while you want to go play Mike Miller. Here you got a guy who can get you rebounds. He's live. He can average 11 to 12 points a night, and you don't want to let, he's young, he's cheap, and you don't want to let him get his 36 minutes? If anybody should be catching minutes in rotation, it's Dion Waiters and Kyrie Irving. They should be catching Dion Waiters, I'm looking at him starting. He's injured, sure, and you know, Sean Marion's the backup between the two. But honestly, if Kyrie Irving is taking a break, you should just have Sean Marion and Dion Waiters out there and let LeBron be the point guard controlling the ball so that he has shooting options behind him and Kevin Love and Anderson Varela rebounding the ball, or, you know, Tristan Thompson and Varela, or worst case, you know, because I don't want to have Kevin Love bashing with 7-footers, you know, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love. But it would still work because Tristan Thompson is a worker. But instead, we got guys trying to run Mike Miller, and I just don't get what you're trying to do, Blatch. Okay? Now, your boys are going to start freaking out the more losses that they take to bad teams. Because it's one thing to lose to the Spurs, and it's another thing to lose to the Bucks. Alright? So let's get our stuff straight here. Okay? And you know, it's bottom line. We got to get this thing figured out and worked out. That roster is too deep to have major struggles. Get some young, hungry kids, you know, make trades if you have to, but get some young, hungry kids who are going to get out there and play defense, because your scoring is there. I mean, you've got scoring out the wham. Dion Waiters, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and then Sean Marion can drop in. You know what I'm saying? Anderson Varela. So your scoring is there. What you need now is hungry defensive players begging to get on TV, get in the game, so they can show their mama that they came this far to do something. Okay? That's all you need. Get you some young rookies in there. Sometimes I wonder why the NBA lets guys keep coming back who aren't going to be as hungry or as aggressive as some young, hungry college player or some kid overseas begging to be in the NBA. I just don't get it. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Seriously. These roster spots are too hot for people who are too, you know, they're too small. It's too tight for people who aren't going to take a shot when they get a shot. We need some young, hungry dudes that want to blow it up. Okay. So, Cleveland, getting a little scared. I want you guys to pull it together. This thing, copy yourselves after the Spurs, because that's what you're built like. You have the potential to be a better Spurs. LeBron, as what, career average Ginobili. Kevin Love has out-averaged Tim Duncan. Career-wise, Tim Duncan was always a 20 and 10 power forward. Kevin Love is like, what, a 25 and 12? Okay, so, and Kyrie Irving, Tony Parker, what, averages 18 points, 5 assists. Kyrie Irving averages 21 and 5. We have the power. You got Tristan Thompson, you got Anderson Varela, you got Sean Marion, you got Dion. Wait, what? Get it together! Come on now! Go Cavaliers. And that's just one of the teams I'm looking at. So this concludes Tony's Topics. See you next time.